December 6, 1986. I woke up that morning definitely with a plan. Why? That was the day, particular day, that my father would end his 35-year aviation career as a KLM captain. He would fly his 747, this one, the one we were sitting in, the Papa Hotel Bravo Uniform Kilo. He would fly that particular airplane with my mom on board and about 400 passengers from New York to Amsterdam. The plan was to meet him at the border over the North Sea with two F-16s. I was flying F-16 in the Air Force back then. And to escort him home, basically. Bring him home to his last landing. That was never done before. So I set out to my airbase in the east part of Brabant in the Netherlands, Volkel Air Base. Everybody knew what we were going to do, of course. And all the way up to the highest ranking general, they all said this is a magnificent plan, and as long as you don't bust the rules and as long as it's safe, you can do it. So we planned the mission, and basically the evening before, my father called me from New York to ask me, hey, are you still going to do this whole thing? I said, yeah, it's the plan, and we will meet you somewhere over the North Sea. So my dad told his crew, but he didn't tell my mom what was going down. And so we joined up with the two F-16s, and the thing I really remember is he told his passengers that it was his last landing and he would be escorted by his son, an F-16. Of course, when it happened, we were alongside this 747. My father told his passengers exactly what was going to happen, that it was his last landing and his son would bring him home in the F-16. And for many passengers that proved to be very emotional, I later heard. And of course it was special. For us it was special, and I only did it for him, for nobody else. What I didn't realize is we flew all the way to Amsterdam. We flew the approach. We came along the National Press Center. We came along the Telegraaf, which is a major Dutch paper, and everybody saw this jumbo with two F-16s on the wing coming in, and nobody knew what was going on. This was on a Friday, and guess what? Saturday it was one huge story in the Telegraaf, which is known as the same sort of paper as the Daily Mail. I mean, it's known for exaggerating stories massively out of context. What I also didn't know, and my dad didn't know that there was a member of parliament in the cabin as a passenger. And that guy, after landing, there were no cell phones, of course, so we went to a phone box and called the Prime Minister in order to ask does the Air Force doesn't have better things to do than flying alongside 747s, right?
Taxpayers' money.
The taxpayers' money.
For Christ's sake.
Anyway, that all came down in the Air Force, but the good thing is the Air Force was a very close-knit organization. And the highest general then said, you know what, I gave permission for it, so that's it. And nobody will tell me what I can do and cannot do, all right? And it was done, over and done with. And basically it was a fantastic event. Little did I know that after 6 or 7 months later, I had my job interview with KLM because I was leaving the Air Force. And guess what, it was 1 hour, no questions about mathematics or anything else. No, they only gave me hard questions about this whole formation flight with this particular airplane.
Ferry, you're a cowboy, they said.
I'm a cowboy, yeah. Well, I said, okay, if you don't want a cowboy, probably go somewhere else. But they wanted a cowboy, so I guess it was my
You're
bet.
not a cowboy. I think it's one of the most honorable, things you could do. I mean, this is a send-off for royals, man. This is fantastic. I saw those pictures and it gave me goosebumps.
Well,
I think that's so neat. That
if I see this beautiful board over here with my dad's name on it, that makes me proud. I mean, and it makes me proud that he had a fantastic career, never one incident. Nothing.
Did it make him emotional?
Yeah. My mom was in the cockpit, and he, of course, didn't cry.
Your mother was a flight attendant for KLM.
Yeah, she was a flight attendant in the 50s, correct. Yeah. And but my mother was in the cockpit, and she looked at him, and she said he always had those little. When he became emotional, he would never ever cry, but he would put his nose like this. And she said, well, that told me, you know, told me that he was absolutely emotional.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, flying next to that huge blue 747, fantastic.
Were you close enough when you were on the wing? You were on the left wing, of course.
Left wing, yeah.
Were you close enough to see him?
Yeah. I could see him, and he was waving at us. But then, of course, they started their descent and approach into Amsterdam, which is a very busy time in an airplane. So you know, he didn't. And we already also briefed it. I said, look, do not worry about me. I will be on the wing somewhere, and you know, I won't be in your way, and it will be safe. And of course, in those days, we just started air-to-air refueling operations with our Air Force. So we were used to flying close to huge tanker airplanes, either the DC-10 or the KC-135 Boeing. But this was massive, more massive than I would ever imagine. I mean, it was fantastic.
How far from his wingtip were you?
5 to 10 meters.
No, really? Holy cow.
At a certain point. And my wingman took the pictures. He has one specific picture was absolutely amazing, where the sun lights on my airplane and my shadow is on the tail of this airplane. And yeah, it was amazing. It was fantastic.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And on that note, we wrap it up here on Lelystad Airport. Thank you, Ferry.
Thanks for being here.
Please subscribe, and see you in the next video.